Hello survivors and welcome to Survivors Guild, part of the Mutant Fam Horror Consortium, a community of like-minded individuals creating content and building relationships by and for fans of the drive-in. Today we're taking a look at 2012's Killer Hillbilly follow-up to number 4, but prequel to number 1, Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines. But first, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now I hope you like Halloween music festivals that get ruined by being the 5th movie in a worn-out franchise, cause this movie's getting spoiled. Wrong Turn 5, written and directed by Declan O'Brien, starring Doug Bradley, yeah, he's in this movie, Camilla Arfwedson, Simon Ginty, Roxanne McKee, Paul Lipke, Oliver Hoare, and Amy Lennox. Wrong Turn 5 Bloodlines is about a group of friends on their way to the Mountain Man Music Festival whose lives get interrupted and intertwined by the infamous products of incest from the previous films. We open up to some history on the town of Fair Lake, West Virginia, which was established in 1814, and then the entire population disappeared in 1817, and that to this day nobody knows what happened to them. But what we do know is that Billy and his girlfriend Cruz are doing what they can in 2003 to give the population a boost, if you know what I mean. It's a Wrong Turn movie. You know exactly what I mean. When they get pranked by their friends Julian, Gus, and Lita. We find out that they are wearing costumes to get ready for the Mountain Man Music Festival. We then cut over to the small town of Fair Lake and get introduced to Kayleen Weber, a news anchor reporting on the festival. She lets us know that this is the 10th annual Mountain Man Music Festival, and that it now rivals Coachella and Lollapalooza in terms of attendance.
The festival has grown over the years to where it now rivals Coachella and Lollapalooza.
And Burning Man in terms of drug use. And as pleasant as Kayleen appeared on camera, off camera, she's a total Karen.
I'm going for a run to get my head out of this small town crap. Go away, kid.
So it's a good thing that she's going for a jog. And it's an equally good thing that this Mountain Man Festival has an abundance of Killbilly masks, so as to further confuse Kayleen when she runs into the notorious Killbillies.
Nice costume, creep. You know what?
She flips off Three Finger like she's never flipped off anyone before, and he turns her into Four Finger. That's why you hold it close to your body, so that people can't cut off your most important finger. And when she runs away, she runs right into the arms of Maynard Odets, who apparently was the Pepto-chugging gas station clerk from Wrong Turn 1 and the explosive patriarch from Wrong Turn 2. What an arc! And after helping her hide from the trio of troglodytes, he remembers something he forgot.
One thing I forgot.
What?
This.
And he hits her in the stomach with an axe. And then hits her in the hand with an axe. And Kayleen Weber lands as deposit number 1 into our meat bank. We cut back over to our group of potential victims, who are having breakfast before heading to the festival. We learn that Billy is a dealer and has completely scheduled their drug use by date and time.
Check it out, I got all our party favors arranged by date and time. First up, some chronic, some X for when we go trick-or-treating, and some shrooms for when the bands start playing. Oh.
Is he trying to take the fun out of it? We learn that Billy has been out of school for 2 semesters, and his parents don't know that. We find out why they chose the Mountain Man Music Festival instead of Burning Man. Apparently, they are celebrating a huge massacre by mountain people who wiped out an entire town and then cooked and ate them. They turned a massacre into a party. Dude, I can't wait till the Columbine Music Festival. Too soon? We cut back over to the Killbillies, who are being homeschooled.
I have been doing this for 30 years, and I have never had to move. Because I never leave behind!
And we find out that Maynard is the school of hard knocks. Cut over to Sheriff Angela Carter and Deputy Biggs, who are making small talk about the upcoming festivities. We cut back over to our victims who are driving down the road before making 2 wrong turns. The first being when they turn to miss hitting Maynard. And the second being when they turn right into that tree. Unfortunately for our meat bank, everyone is alright, so far. The boys go to check on Maynard, who surprises Billy with a knife. So the boys begin their gang initiation by kicking the piss out of him while the Killbillies watch from the woods. But the Killbillies' plans are thwarted when the cops show up and arrest the group plus Maynard and take them into town, leaving only Deputy Biggs to wait for the tow truck to arrive. And when everyone leaves, the middle-aged mutant cannibal turtle sees the opportunity to make Biggs a deposit into the meat bank, landing Biggs at deposit number 2. Later that night at the Fair Lake Sheriff Station that was built by my high school drama class, sorry, that's an insult to my high school drama class. The group is panicking about the drugs the cops found in their car, and we learn that the real cannibals are Billy's friends, who want him to take full responsibilities for the drugs he brought.
Yeah, Billy, you gotta tell her. It was your drugs, not ours.
No.
I don't care. I'm sitting in jail because of him.
Which makes sense, but to fully blame him for your stupid decisions? Pfft. No shrooms for you. Billy lets the sheriff, who was in earshot of the entire conversation, know that they are indeed his drugs, and she decides to let the rest of the group go, one of her first bad decisions of the movie. Cut out to the crowds on the street who are all dressed up in Halloween costumes, helping our Killbillies to blend in as they search for their sensei, while Sheriff Carter is finding him.
Seems like you've been running for quite some time.
When she discovers that he's been wanted for murder for 30 years. And while our group of victims are setting into their hotel room, those wascally Killbillies are taking out the town's only cell tower. Luckily, our victims called Billy's dad when they settled into their hotel room before the Billies took down the tower. And Julian wants to go to the festival anyway because now Billy is his dad's problem. Meanwhile, the Killbillies are rolling up to some sort of power plant and making their way in. And while the Killbillies do a number on some electrical equipment, the security guard brings the nightstick to an axe fight. And when the trio take charge at him, he runs the other direction. And when they finally catch the critter, they try killing the power the old-fashioned way, by plugging him into it. And they end up plugging him into the meat bank at deposit number 3, killing him and the power all over town. Maynard sees this as a sign that the boys are coming to rescue him, which makes Mose, the town drunk, uncomfortable.
Sheriff, I don't want to be in here with this guy. Can you please put me in the other cell?
So Sheriff Carter, who is an expert at bad decisions, lets him out of the cell and puts him to work finding flashlights. We cut over to the Mountain Man Music Festival, sans budget, to meet one of the sheriff's deputies, who gets approached by a girl delivering the title of the franchise.
I think I took a wrong turn. Can you tell me how to get backstage?
And then asking for help getting backstage.
Show you, but you need a pass to get in.
I will do anything to get a pass.
Because it wouldn't be a Wrong Turn movie without a bunch of TNA. What? No! That's terrible acting! Get your mind out of the gutter. Cut back over to Billy's worst enemies when Cruz decides that instead of hanging out in a crappy hotel room, she's going to take Billy some food. And on her way, she runs into a mystery character that's wearing a mask, who then starts chasing her. And when the masked character surprises her with a knife to the stomach, he takes off the mask, revealing to have been Three Fingers the entire time. What in the hell was the point of the mask? He then reaches into her wound and starts feeding her guts, but I don't think she's that hungry. But he keeps trying. Sadly, his attempts came too little too late and she starves to death, schlumping over into our meat bank at deposit number 4. Julian, who left the hotel because he didn't feel like watching his friend's terrible acting, arrives at the sheriff's station, surprised that Cruz didn't beat him there.
Thought I'd come hang out with Billy and Cruz.
Cruz isn't here.
What? It's weird. She left with food about 20 minutes ago.
Where is she?
And when Sheriff Carter tries to get him to leave, Maynard gets in on the survivor's guilt spirit.
Yeah, why didn't you let him stay? One more dead body to add to the pile.
Sheriff Carter, who loves breaking protocol, allows him to stay. We cut back over to Gus and Lita, who wrap up their lovemaking, only to talk about stupid crap that's not gonna matter in 15 minutes. Stupid crap like, let's move in together, and marry me. Lucky for us, Lita avoids answering the question so that we can get these deaths rolling, because I don't have all day, especially not for this movie. Lita heads to the bathroom to take a shower while Gus heads to the door to get taken by hillbillies. Lita, who heard the commotion, opts to skip the shower and instead arms herself with a towel rack. And when One Eye comes in to snoop, she gets the jump on him but wastes it. Lucky for her, Julian dropped his rather large knife on the floor earlier and no one bothered to pick it up, and she uses it to get free from One Eye. We cut over to Gus, who is tied between a tow truck and a tree, but instead of using this as an interesting way to deposit him into the meat bank, they just use it to destroy his legs. They then drive to the sheriff's station and drop Gus off, before using their truck to mash him into the meat bank at deposit number 5. But Sheriff Carter doesn't like to leave dead bodies on the road, so they move him to a bench outside the sheriff's station. Because he wasn't part of a crime scene or anything, Sheriff Carter plays a game of bad cop, worse cop when she releases Billy from his cell and then deputizes him, Julian, and Mose, the town drunk, who is still drunk. Seriously, you might as well have let Maynard go too. I mean, why the hell not? Mose reminds her that across the street is a thrift store with a shortwave radio and a generator, so she heads over to call for help. She breaks into the store and gets looking for her loot. She fires up the generator and the shortwave radio and gets a hold of a dude named Teddy. She lets him know what's going on, but he thinks that it's all part of a prank. Cut over to the station where Lita knocks on the door and almost gets deposited by a deputized drunk known as Mose. Apparently, Sheriff Carter learned nothing from that short children's story, If You Give a Drunk a Gun. But while Lita is on the ground, she recognizes Gus's hand. After all, she'd recognize that hand anywhere, and he never went anywhere without it. Figuring that's a sufficient amount of traumatizing for one day, Billy brings her into the station. Sheriff Carter comes over shortly after, and then Maynard makes her an offer that she can't refuse.
Let me go, and maybe the rest of them will live to see the dawn.
Which she promptly refuses, followed by Billy making an offer she should refuse.
I'm irresponsible, I'm unreliable, and I'm definitely juvenile. I love Cruz, and I'm not gonna sit in here while she's out there on her own. So either lock me up or let me go.
But she promptly allows when he decides to leave to look for Cruz. Lita stays at the station while Billy and Julian head out to find Cruz, and find her they do.
Baby, oh my god, oh Cruz.
Only for them to be found by Three Finger, hell-bent on revenge. Billy chases after him, shooting like a deputized town drunk, and Julian follows. But while they run through the town, Julian plays a game of catch when One Eye drops onto him. And Billy almost nails this backflip with the help of Sawtooth. You gotta commit, Billy. Next time try landing on your feet. When Billy wakes up, he is buried neck deep in a soccer field, next to Julian, who is chained up to a goal. Unfortunately, across the field, Three Finger fires up a tractor with a mulcher on the front and he starts driving towards them. And when Julian can't free his friend, Three Finger releases him into our meat bank at deposit number 6. How many Billies would the Kill Billies kill if the Kill Billies could kill Billy? Just one so far, and I'm sorry. Three Finger then turns his attention to Julian, who can't escape his chain, nor can he escape the approaching Three Finger, mulching Julian into deposit number 7 into our meat bank. Meanwhile, back at the station, Sheriff Carter continues her streak of absolutely terrible decisions by sending Mose to get help using the police vehicle. Apparently, she never read the follow-up to If You Give a Drunk a Gun, that being If You Give a Drunk a Car. And while Sheriff Carter continues making the piss-poor decisions, they're just the worst. Maynard tries to talk Lita into letting him out. Mose lets us know that he's turning over a new leaf and that the sheriff can count on him.
I know not too many people have counted on me in the past to do anything right, but I'm turning over a new leaf.
And Lita approaches Sheriff Carter, seeing if she can't talk her into letting Maynard go. But Sheriff Carter is insane.
No, I want justice.
Justice!
Loaded Mose gets into the truck and takes off to find help. But while he is driving down the highway, he runs over some razor wire and runs off the road and crashes.
Mose?
Despite the Killbillies' involvement, it was inevitable. He wakes up sometime later in the thrift store with the Killbillies who are setting up a barbecue. They stuff him into a barrel and put the barrel over the open fire. And when Sheriff Carter realizes that the Killbillies, somehow without being noticed, brought Mose back to the thrift store, she heads over to try to save him. But unfortunately, the Killbillies don't know how to cook with propane, and the whole store explodes. Definitely landing Mose as our 8th deposit into our meat bank, showing us that making deposits in the meat bank is as easy as cooking drunks in a barrel. Let's make that a phrase. Meanwhile, Maynard finally convinces Lita to let him go, but before he leaves, he gives her the look.
You know what I was saying about vision?
Which takes away her ability to. And when Maynard comes stumbling out right behind the now eyeless Lita, Sheriff Carter does what she should have done hours ago and shoots him.
Warned you!
And then locks him back up in his cell and tends to Lita. After she threatens Maynard a little bit,
Get it over with.
Don't tempt me.
You're a f***ing coward.
she decides to leave for help. When she walks outside, she sees her husband Jason's car and walks over to it. And despite him shaking his head, as if he's trying to tell her something, she opens the door, making a pulley system draw a blade up his abdomen, spilling his guts into his lap. 5-second rule, get those guts back in there! But when Three Finger shows up and uses the Killbilly tow truck to push his vehicle away from the sheriff, we can definitely assume that Jason is not coming back from that, making him deposit number 9 into the meat bank. Three Finger gets out of the truck and shows that he's not afraid to hit a girl. And knocks Sheriff Carter out. Cut back over to Lita, who's decided that she's heard enough of Maynard's talk about rape and dismembering, and decides that it's time to wander off into the wilderness. When Sheriff Carter comes to, she finds herself in a jail cell with a shotgun under her chin connected to a wire under her heel, and the Killbillies dousing the station with gasoline. Maynard explains that she can either burn to death or drop her heel, triggering the shotgun to blow her head off.
The wire is gonna pull the trigger. Essentially, I am offering you a way out, Sheriff. If I were you, I would take it.
And he ignites the fuel before he leaves the building. And with the flames building around her, she makes her first good decision of the movie, splattering her into the meat bank at deposit number 10. Ha! That kill didn't make me feel very good. Anyway, cut to somewhere in the wilderness where Lita is wandering down the road when the Killbillies truck pulls up and Three Fingers helps her into it, before Maynard welcomes her and reveals who they are.
Welcome home, Lita.
And as Lita screams, the tow truck drives off directly into credits.
You don't wanna be here.
So now, to find out, what are your chances of suffering survivor's guilt? This is where we take a look at our main characters and the death that surrounds them to determine your chances of surviving this movie. We start off our meat bank deposits with Kayleen Weber jogging into our meat bank at deposit number 1, followed by Deputy Biggs wading into our meat bank at deposit number 2, followed by our security guard, Canon F. Otter, at deposit number 3, and then Cruz being fed into our meat bank at deposit number 4. We then get Gus Gus speed bumping in at deposit number 5, and Billy getting mulched in at number 6, followed by Sloppy Julian at number 7. Mose, the town drunk and inspiration for my new line of children's books, exploding in at number 8, and then Jason spilling into our meat bank at number 9. And wrapping up our meat bank deposits, the sheriff of unceasing horrific judgments, Sheriff Carter, putting her foot down for the final time and ending up as deposit number 10 into our meat bank. Now let's take a look at our survivors. We've got the Killbillies, Three Finger, One Eye, and Sawtooth, plus Maynard, who will eventually explode at the hands of final girl Colonel Dale Murphy, but for now lives on to kill again. And finally Lita, but let's be honest, things are not looking good for her, and she certainly does not see what's coming her way, making a total of 5 survivors. That means that out of a total of 15 characters, only 5 survive, which means that you have a 33.3% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these Killbillies make sure that you don't go on to write and direct the 6th installment of the franchise? Let me know in the comments below. And if this is your first time on my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to join the Mutant Fam on Twitter for our Halloween marathon. Alright guys, as always, thanks and don't die.
This one's gonna be a hard one. No pun intended. Turtles movie. A sequel was all but inevitable, really.